which is turned around a little bit. Do you have any questions about the Swedish summer camps that you have wondered about them?
I was so young that it's hard to process everything that happened.
I mean, it was your first trip, what I understand, abroad even. This one.
For any length of time, yeah.
So I think it was a little bit special, I guess, in that sense.
It was intimidating. I mean, for me, I never, I grew up as a lower middle class kid in San Diego. I never traveled anywhere. I didn't think I'd ever travel because I didn't, I wasn't aspiring to. So then it was like, hey, you're going to Sweden for 5 weeks. I was like, what? Where's Sweden?
Exactly.
So for me, it was really overwhelming, but I loved it, man. I think what I appreciated about it was that it was remote, and that made us skate more because there was nothing else to do, and that was a good thing.
I would say that was the whole idea, to not have it in the city center or something. But and as well at that time, skateboarding was we were not. They don't want us in the city center.
I remember going to town with you guys and getting kicked out everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
That's the way it was. Yeah.
But I mean, as far as what was the spark for the camp, because it was pretty progressive. No one was doing skate camps at all. No. And you guys were running it for 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
Yeah.
4 weeks, yeah.
I mean, that was pretty, that was ambitious.
It actually started out in the first one in Rättvik. So that they took the idea from like a football camp or something like that, but a sports camp from other sports, and say, okay, let's do this with skateboarding as well. And they had like everyone was going up in the morning, having some warm up and running and so on. After 2 days, it was only Per Willners still running.
Yeah. Did it sell out?
Yeah. Every time, I would say.
Well, I mean,
that was Eurocana, the major skate store in Sweden. And they did it for 3 years.
4 years. It was 79 with Bob Skalberg and Mike Wee.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then Stacy and Alan in 80,
yeah.
and then Steve and Mike.
2 years.
And they all stayed for the entire camp.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
And then
I love it. And also it gave me a chance to get to know Lance, because I didn't really know Lance then, and Lance kind of vibed me before that. Well, he vibed everyone, but definitely, he thought I was like a nerdy trick dude.
I thought you knew him well before.
Not really. We did a couple things together, but I felt like it gave me a chance to really to get to know him, and also to be inspired by him. I mean, so much of my musical taste came from that camp. From I still have one of the mixtapes that he made.
Do you still have the shorts I made for you?
I have some that are very similar, and I think about you every time.
Because I remember you wrote me, you were in an 80s masquerade or something. I wrote you after I read your biography, and you told me that just the week before you wore them at the...
We had an 80s party in my house.
Yeah,
that was like 95-ish, maybe.
I don't know. When I was just when I read your
but I remember it.
Yeah,
because I told you, your stuff reminded me of my friend Greg Smith.
Yeah.
And when I needed an outfit for the 80s event that we put on, I asked Greg. Yeah. And Greg had all of his Quicksilver stuff.
You were 17 in 85? You were 17 years old, 85?
85, yeah.
Yeah, 17, yeah. And you had your...
16. I was 16 here, I think.
Maybe and you had your own car?
No.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked Lance into buying it.
And whose insurance was that?
I think it was $400, $300.
Yeah. Whose insurance was that? You know that? It was Hassan.
He signed it for the insurance?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Crazy guy.
There is a really funny follow-up story on that car when you left for the camp and went back home.
Yeah.
You bought it just outside the camp area, like a gas station or car dealer there. And we stayed a few days afterwards, and you just put the car back to them with the keys, I think.
Right.
And 2 days later, when they were standing there trying to get the paint off, selling it again. Imagine what that car would have been worth today.
Man. I know the collectors now. Those guys, they're nuts, man. They, you know, for first issue boards and stuff.
Yeah.
It's wild. Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how we would have gotten it anywhere, but
When did you hear about the camp? Because I mean, Stacy was there quite early, but then of course you were not like on the Powell team at all at that time. 80. I mean, it was.
I heard about it obviously when Cav and Mike were here. Yeah. I heard, you know, I saw rumblings about it, but mostly when those guys came back and they were like, "This is huge ramp." Mike didn't make twist, and I was like, "Let's go."
And you did the 720,
Yeah.
which he has the footage of. And he has a lot of more, you know, as I
I
told
would
you.
love to see it. I have the clip of one 720. I don't know if it's the first one.